Hi, I'm Maureen Kitcher. I'm a consulting psychotherapist, trainer, and author of The 6 Quantum Secrets to an Amazing Life. And I teach people how to find and overcome the hidden and stubborn brain and body problems that get in the way of having a really energetic and dynamic life. And I want to share with you a little bit of a hormone secret today. Did you know that you have to have well-functioning adrenal hormones in order to potentiate all of your other hormones, all of the other hormones that make you feel good? The hormones or neurotransmitters that are in your brain that create a sense of well-being and good sleep and mood stability, the sex hormones that give you libido, and the thyroid hormones that heal your skin and do all kinds of other things for you. Did you know you have to have functioning adrenal glands in order to be able to make the best use of all of those other systems in your body? I have a lot of people that show up in my practice and they are flat and low and they have a whole variety of problems. They have what look like mood disorders, they have no energy, they can't work out, they've lost their libido, they're losing their muscle mass, they've got sleep problems, they've got a whole array of problems. And before we just jump to the conclusion that they've got a mood disorder or that they might be going into perimenopause or menopause, all of which can be true, or for men, andropause, which is the slowdown of hormones at midlife, before we jump to the conclusion that any of those things are happening, I often test to make sure their adrenal glands are working. Did you know that you can burn out your adrenal glands from years of multitasking, late nights, caffeine, sugar, and also from things like long, prolonged, unresolved trauma or chronic illness? If you have lived through any of those kinds of phases of life, you may have weakened and then burned out your adrenal glands, which would mean you might not be producing enough DHEA and cortisol. DHEA is a hormone that we all have, and it starts to wane as we age. People who've really run roughshod over themselves are going to lose their DHEA faster. DHEA is a mother hormone, and it produces a whole bunch of other hormones. It gives you energy. Cortisol is also an energy hormone, and it gets you through your days. Cortisol is necessary to potentiate or catalyze all of your other hormones. So if you are lacking in either of these two hormones, you may be dragging yourself around looking like you have a mood disorder or that you've got some other hormonal condition, when in fact it's an adrenal problem. So here's what I want to encourage you to do. Go to your doctor and ask for testing of your DHEA and your cortisol. A lot of doctors are not familiar with testing of those two particular hormones, or they may be hesitant to because they may feel it's time-consuming and expensive for the lab to do. If that's the case, look for a healthcare provider who is able to do saliva testing for you. Saliva testing is a great new alternative that is cutting edge and highly accurate, much more accurate in fact than blood tests, to tell us whether you have got really good functioning adrenals. And in fact, it's also a very accurate way of testing your sex hormones. So, in Canada, my favorite lab is Rocky Mountain Analytical, and in the United States, ZRT or ZRT labs will be able to check your saliva and tell you whether you've got adequate levels of these hormones. And saliva is more accurate because when you spit into a test tube, you're actually measuring hormone that has been worked its way all the way through your tissues and come out into a test tube. It's bioavailable. Whereas the hormone that's riding around in your bloodstream tells us what your body's producing, but doesn't tell us what your body's using. So you want to do saliva testing so you get the most accurate measure of how much you're actually able to use of what you're making. In the meantime, if you think you have any of these symptoms, have a look at James Wilson's book, The Adrenal Fatigue, the 21st Century Stress Syndrome. It's a wonderful book that will educate you in this area. Look for some future videos that I'm going to be doing, educating you a little bit more about sex hormones, thyroid hormones, and their very profound interaction with the mood hormones in your brain. So, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you again.